Windsor High School basketball star has been found to be 30 years old. Okay, he's been presenting himself to be a 17-year-old in 11th grade. Canadian border officers have arrested. His name is Jonathan Nicola. He's an African refugee. He spent the last 6 months attending Catholic Central High School. He was living at the head coach's basketball. Why are you laughing? We'll get to the picture.
So big.
He looks older, right?
And he looks so much older.
I guess he's over 200 pounds. He's well over 6 feet tall. He looks in that photograph that we're looking at, I don't know, in his 30s.
It's actually the one with the Odell Beckham Jr. haircut in the back. No, I'm just kidding. It's not him.
Yeah, he looks 30, 40, but hey, when I went to high school, there was some teens that looked a lot older too, but we'll get to that. So he was living with the head basketball coach, his basketball coach. His name was Pete Cusumano, who apparently had no idea that the student was 30 years old. And Pete was housing him through the Canada Homestay program, which finds homes for foreign students. According to ABC 10, the Canada Border Services Agency said Wednesday officers arrested Nicola for allegedly violating the Immigration Refugee Protection Act. He's being detained under the authority of that act. There's been a lot of people trying to get some press release, some statements from the school district. They've been pretty tight-lipped. There was one press release from spokesman Stephen Fields of the Windsor Essex Catholic District School Board, and he stated, quote, "There's really not a whole lot to say because of the fact that this is a matter that's still outstanding before the federal authorities. Obviously, we can't really comment on it. Beyond that, there's not a whole lot to say."
Which means you wanted to say a lot of things about it.
Yeah.
But she was like, I can't do it. No, Canadian border does not mess around, by the way. Like, even if you've gotten a DUI or if you've ever been arrested, they will grill you and possibly not allow you to enter Canada. Obviously, this South Sudanese person slipped through the cracks and lied about his age. But I was going to say, this happens with Turkish basketball players all the time.
What?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
So,
all the time like it's an epidemic?
No. Well,
They just can't stop these damn good Turkish basketball players.
So here's what it is.
Presenting as 17-year-olds.
Yeah, no, here's what it is. So you obviously get an advantage when you're a little bit older compared to the rest of your class.
Clearly,
now, 12 years
he's
is
12
insane.
years older.
No, 12 years is the highest I've ever seen. There's another instance where this happened with a 21-year-old person who acted like he was 17 to be able to compete against 17-year-olds. Now, this gives Turkish basketball players a tremendous advantage when they're playing nationally because they reach puberty earlier. Therefore, once they reach puberty earlier, they're a lot better than their competition, like way before their actual time that they should be playing against these people. And then they get to play in the national team. And overall, it pushes them forward. And this is a very smart technique that is adopted in third world countries and Turkey all the time.
Great.
Okay, but if we could just get back to Jonathan specifically, and I do hope that we have an in-depth reporting on the Turkish basketball epidemic soon. But as far as Jonathan Nicola is concerned, there are a couple things about him. He's a good player.
Can we have video?
Do we have video?
Can we look at the video?
Check out that video.
Good.
So, one, he's a great player. And you know what? For him to just live out his dream as just the big man, quite literally on campus for a while, whatever. Because it doesn't sound like he was a creepy dude. He was just there. He was just playing some basketball. Yeah. Second thing, he has a receding hairline. I mean, we've seen a lot of older.
Why are you pointing towards me when you say that?
Behind you. It's not always about.
He looks 40.
He looks older. The disconnect there with how he looks doesn't add up to me because I've heard stories.
No, that happens to some people.
Well, I've heard stories before about people who maybe look older but are they are younger. Not even stories. Like you know people like that. And then you also have heard stories about people posing, like you were saying in Turkey, all these people all the time are just posing as a little bit younger than they are. Yeah. But they probably look within that age group. This guy looks 30. He looks his age. Jonathan, I think you're a cool guy, but here's 30.
I have friends that look way older. I feel like I look way older. I'm 24. People think I'm 35 all the time. I'm not going to say this is ridiculous that they couldn't catch this guy ahead of time. I'm just so surprised by the fact that he didn't let it slip that he was much older, not just with his obviously really advanced basketball game.
You'd have to like watch
but-
your references.
Yeah, that's what
you know
I'm
what
saying.
I mean? He'd be like, "Yo, like, what'd you guys think of the movie Love and Basketball when it came out?" They're like, "We didn't." They're like, "Yeah, me neither. I didn't see it either."
exactly.
He's like 21 Jump Street. He would kill it on 21 Jump Street. But some things that you brought up, and I think it's really important to address, because we have reported on other stories where there will be somebody over the age of 18, 21, 25. There was another story last year, I believe he was 28. Presented to be a teenager out of high school, and I don't have the story in front of me, but we've all heard these stories where then they are hooking up with a minor, and that is rape, that is a crime. This isn't the case here. And I did want to bring that up because I want people to know that in this situation, there has not been any sort of criminal allegations in regard to underage girls. And
his only crime was that he loved basketball.
And you know, it's you have to understand what you have to have empathy, and I'm just giving him the benefit of the doubt. What situation did he leave in Africa, right? What situation did he leave that made him so desperate to come here?
And where did he get those handles?
Yeah.
question.
He's very
Just
good.
I know, he's
Very
good. Yeah, he's really good. I think.
I mean, is he going to play for the
embarrassed.
South Sudanese national team? Like, what's going on?
I think he could have a bright future ahead of him. I
Yeah.
think this is a weird thing. Maybe it'll be a cool Lifetime movie, but I think it doesn't sound like they're, aside from the deception, doesn't seem like anyone has said this is a malicious bad guy. So let's hope for the best from here on out.
I agree.